Wow, what a song! I want to wish today is a pretty solemn day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. A full house today. Let's everybody check in. Go ahead. Who's here? So let's hear your voice.
Say my name.
Pringle and Alyssa.
All right, Pringle, Alyssa. Who else?
David.
David. Who else?
Oh. Skyla.
Skyla. Who else?
Kira.
Yeah.
Your boy Kenny.
Your boy Kenny. That's what I want to hear, Kenny. Julia. Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good morning. Did we miss anybody? Well, it's great to see all of you. Now, first of all, before we get on today's silent, I don't want to say silent tribute, but mournful tribute, I was quickly sending out some texts, and people may be joining us to remind you. But remember, Canvas, and if you have a problem with Canvas getting in, please let me know today. So it's great to see a full house today, or a fuller house than we had yesterday. Right, Skylar and David?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So good to see everybody connected. Once again, 3 out of 5 days, today being Wednesday. Excellent. So some of you haven't been here yet, but if you're here for the first time, welcome. Great opportunity to really connect in so many levels, and today I want to reiterate that why it's so important. I've had people say, well, what does that have to do with me passing? It has a lot to do with you passing your classes and coursework, and I'll share that with you a little bit. But before we begin, I use the backdrop today, a real solemn moment, and many of you, well, actually all of you were not born. Let's see, maybe some of you. Anybody here 18 or 19?
I am.
All right, what year were you born?
2000.
2000, so you were a 1-year-old child when some of you may have heard of the 9/11 tribute that occurred that really devastated or woke up our nation. And I know many of you have heard about the events of 9/11. That song that was playing was a tribute to that. It was the second most I had a very difficult day that I'll never forget as long as I live, teaching day. I'll talk about that day later, but probably the second most difficult day I ever had in my 33 years on this face of the earth teaching was this morning. You see, it was 9 o'clock, 8:45, and I was getting ready for geography, social studies, 6th grade. And I do something called the Spartan News, and in the back of my classroom, they were just finishing up the production of the morning broadcast, live broadcast, students feed throughout the whole school. And that moment, my middle daughter, Haley, was in my class because I taught all 6th grade social studies, so always a popular thing to have in class because it was harder on her than it was on me. But that's not what this is about. But I remember very clearly a moment, a man by the name of Ted Woodmans, he came in my door, and Ted was a jokester. He opened the door and he says, "Q, a plane crashed into the Twin Towers in New York City." I said, "Ted, that's not even funny." I'm looking at the door. And he goes, his eyes got this big, his big red hair was almost fiery red, and he said, "I'm not kidding you." What's going on? So I was just about ready to start social studies class, and I turned on the television, and lo and behold, there was the smoke just flowing out, and they thought a plane crashed into the side of Twin Tower on accident. So that's a live feed. So I thought, well, social studies teacher, right? Let's just keep this on, and this will be our social studies today. Let's see what's going on around the world and connecting the events. So kids were asking questions about the first 5 minutes, and then it stopped. Because then the horror became real. It became real because as we're watching this unfold before us, to not really belabor the story too long, the second plane hit. And I'll never forget the reaction of one of my students, because I was not upset with the reaction, but it would probably upset some people. It was like laughter. And I think it was a nervous laughter. Like a game, like a video game, like all of a sudden you see this missile, but I knew it was an airplane, live on television, slam into the second tower. Oh my gosh. And suddenly the announcers, it was a difficult day because I chose at that moment to continue teaching. And the most difficult part of that is this was all unfolding. The next 45 minutes, 4 plane crashes in various places throughout our country were hijacked by 21 different terrorists on this day. And that television was on all day long. My 6th graders would keep coming into class and going, but it was like they came and quickly sat down and everybody knew. There was tears, there was fear. I made a conscious decision to talk about it. Instead of just, forget about it, let's go on to some 5 themes of geography, right? What really was the most important was what's going on in the world and try to help our students do that. In the meantime, I got to be honest with you, I was scared. I was scared for my country, my future, my children, because right in my classroom was a little girl, brown eyes, looking right at me. It was my daughter. And I had to pretend, hey, Dad, we got this, or Mr. Quinlan, and I'm just, all I wanted to do was to go home and be with my family. I was also the girls' varsity basketball coach at the time. We had a game. I quickly called the AD and said, I don't want to play. Don't want to play. So things were canceled. And without getting into great detail, really brought a community together. And on this day, 19 years ago, actually 18 years ago, was that moment. And ironically, it's 10:08 in the morning right now. And this was still occurring 18 years ago at this moment, first thing in the morning. And what is that for some of you? I really would like to open up our day today by just sharing a short piece just to kind of give you I'm going to call it an important history lesson of really what you should know, need to know. So just a quick, take a look back.
It's around 8:45 a.m., a chilled morning in New York City, partly cloudy. In Boston, American Airlines Flight 11, bound for Los Angeles, has been hijacked, then a news. An airplane flying due south has crashed into the upper level of the North Tower of the World Trade Center.
We have
9:03 a.m., a surreal event unlike anything in the history of the broadcast media. Countless viewers are watching live when suddenly an airplane is seen flying in an easterly direction. The plane swings around the southern end of the Second World Trade Tower and explodes on impact. 9:30 a.m. President Bush at an elementary school in Sarasota, Florida, goes on television live to announce the disaster.
Terrorism against our nation will not stand.
But even the president doesn't know just what is coming next. At 9:35 a.m., a third hijacked plane crashes into the Pentagon. There is no question now that the United States is under attack by terrorists. In Washington, the Pentagon, the Capitol, and the White House, as well as other government buildings, are evacuated. And Manhattan Island, incredibly, is sealed off. All bridges and tunnels are closed. And then, 9:59 a.m., a scene that will change New York for all time. The South Tower of the World Trade Center collapses. And just a half hour later, at 10:28, the North Tower goes down as well. New York's Twin Towers have disappeared. It has been less than 2 hours since the first attack in New York City. An unimaginable number of people are dead and injured. The southern end of New York City's famous skyline has vanished. Nothing will ever be the same again. In a street-side news conference near the terrible devastation of the World Trade Centers, New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani said, "I have a sense it's a horrendous number of lives lost. I don't know yet. Right now, we have to focus on saving as many lives as possible."
And needless to say, that was just only the beginning of really what occurred and why, as our days and weeks went on, I just want to share some insight and just hear your thoughts on that. Our country went to war with Afghanistan and Iraq, and it's been 18 years. And all of you here, within a year, have known nothing but U.S. at war with Iraq and Afghanistan your entire lives. Think about that. And that's something truly profound to think about also. I do want to finish and wrap up with just an own personal story. I remember when they came crashing down, my colleague, Mrs. Johnson, came in the room. The moment I knew it was real again, tears running down her cheek about we are in war, we are at war, and just seeing her eyes, and it just reality hit me and that was the most difficult day as I tried to quickly get home with my family. And we just gathered at the table, we just sat in the living room and just talked about the experience the rest of my night. My girls were in 8th grade, 6th grade, and 4th grade, so they were trying to sort all this out too. So my mother later went on a first responder as a Red Cross volunteer, and it traumatized my mom. My mom was at ground zero 2 months later. It was helping people, trying to find people. It was a very touching article tribute with my mom's experience as a Red Cross volunteer. She was a nurse for 30 years. And it took my mom over a year to really start talking about just the emotional strain it put on her, because her job as a Red Cross volunteer was to help these people identify or find missing people, or just trying to find shelter or food. It was a pretty chaotic time in our history. So today is our, I think, a tribute to something that happened in some of your lifetimes, and most of you here today, you weren't born during that time period, but it's something that has been marked in our history forever. Thoughts on your point? Any thoughts from you? Anybody want to throw some insight in what you've heard or experienced, or in your lifetime, or parents may have talked about? Anybody?
No.
That's that awkward silence teachers do, right? Okay. No worries. Anybody want to weigh in?
No.
All right. Well, thank you for that, taking an opportunity. Thanks for being here today, because today is not so much all about that tribute, but it is the main reason why we gather today. All across the country and through schools and places of work and worship, they're having a moment of silence at 10 o'clock. So that was kind of our tribute, not so much a moment of silence, but maybe a little bit of silence we had. Think about those victims. We lost over 5,000. Even today, some of the victims who were first responders are dying at an early age because of cancer, carcinogens, and even that image behind me, right there at ground zero, is referred to has impacted the health of our first responders too. So it's got that residual impact on those who responded. So, hey, let's shift gears, transition quickly if we could, to something I'd like all of you to do right now, if you would. There is a document, actually it should be, if I click on it, yep, where it says Virtual Learning Zoom Meeting. Could all of you click on that now, please? So if you click on that image.
Meetings myself.
Hold on one sec. I gotta find it.
Okay, no worries. We're going to wait. And right when you clicked on to get in today's Zoom, I'm going to go back so you can see it. I meant to have it created as a separate document. So if all of you could do that right now, it's right below the link that you joined us to today, called the Virtual Learning Student.
It just says Mr. Quinlan and then you.
What's that?
It
Yeah.
says Mr. Quinlan and then it says you.
Right. Don't click on that. Right here there's a picture above today's agenda. Look at the screen.
Hold on one sec.
Yeah. The picture of this squares called a matrix. If you just click on that square called Virtual Learning Student Zoom.
Oh, okay. I honestly didn't know you could click on.
Good. So let's just click on that for a moment. It looks like Kiara was there. And I just want to show you today, it's on every webinar this week. To remind, good, excellent. Looks like most of you, David's there, Jalea's there, Kiara's there, Sky, and Kenny, and you found it. Okay. What I need you to do, if we don't get a chance to have a conversation with you at the webinar, please, if you need a one-on-one today, I have all the, some of you may want to hit your sound or turn down.
Oh, yeah, it's probably Alyssa.
All right, man. I just turn it down to get some feedback. No worries. So if you want to put your name and your purpose and a time, sign up for a slot that, hey, I need some one-on-one time. This link is open for 7 hours. So please just get some insight and I'll have a conversation. So feel free. It's an open free document that I'll leave out there. Also notice it's for the entire week. There's for tomorrow. Actually, I should have changed the date. Got these dates backwards, but anyway, just go from the top. Just sign up. So if you need hey, I need to stay on the webinar afterwards, put your name on there when we sign off. You need a chance to chat. It was good to see 4 of you joined us yesterday. I put out a text to all of you. hey, I'm available for a half hour, and it was great to see some of you join me. That happens once in a while, but this is how I kind of want to talk today. So if you have a time you want, any questions, what questions may you have? Anybody? I need kind of like a thumbs up, virtual waiver. We got to figure that out. A red flag goes up. Hey, I got it. Okay. It sounds like most of you got it because you're on the page. I'll leave it there. If you think about later on that, hey, I may want to, go right ahead. Okay. So I should have made that when you click on it, it goes to an extra tab, but I think it just went. So if you want to go back and follow me, hit the back button. If you want to go back to the, you don't have to, but I'm going to go back to today. All right. One final item I have, and then we'll get on with your day. I just want to remind you, Larry Hunt, a guest. You know, we're going to have a virtual person join us, and you don't want to miss this because he's got a compelling story about resilient grit, entrepreneurship. He is a I call multifaceted, talented person who's really done a lot in his life and a lot to be proud of. A lot of you will probably look at him and say, whoa, this guy, he's got it all together. I'm going to tell you, he's got a path that you would not believe. Him and I always brag about who had the lowest GPA in high school. And he beats me by 1 point, 1/10. Because for us, high school was not important. I didn't do very well. I didn't really care. And he's got a funny story about how he, actually not funny, but it's quite a story of resilience. I want you to meet him. And that's all we're doing on Friday. You don't want to miss it. You get a good chance because I'm a firm believer in 3 factors will determine your success, your destiny, and really decide who you are. It is the people you meet, the books you read, and the places you go. If you think about it, it sounds like a Dr. Seuss book, doesn't it? All right? But those 3 factors will impact really where you're going. This is more than about just your courses on Plato in school. So don't miss out on that. I really hope you can make it. All right. Also, tomorrow I want to announce something. This is, and I'm not going to push this out in a text. That's why it's important. I should probably give away gift certificates for joining us today, right, David? Yeah, but no, this is for you only. And really, I have left tomorrow open for a face-to-face day. If you remember, I kind of told everybody to hold off on your courses. You're okay to go forward on them. I'm finishing them up today. I'll tell you who you are. But if you want to drop in for a chat, need to work on right now, we've got Montana's in here. She stopped by. Or you need some questions about coursework. It's not really a scheduled day. But come on in. I'm ready to meet with you.
You don't have to go in tomorrow. It's not a scheduled day, he just said.
Go ahead. What's that, Alyssa?
Oh, no, Alyssa was just telling me.
Okay. No,
I was using the bathroom real quick.
All right. No worries, buddy. So it's volunteer only. I'm waiving the face-to-face waiver this week, but I am keeping your attendance on the virtual piece. That's huge. And also your coursework. So, coursework, some of you, we need to chat about 2 of you here that we'll finish it up here in the next hour. But anyway, I want to let you know that I'm available if you want to pop in tomorrow. So you don't have to, it would be nice if you, maybe fill this out, let me know when you're coming, but no worries. I'm going to be here and I can work with you. I'm kind of carving out my schedule to make sure it's for you guys. So we will have a schedule next week of what day you're coming in. You'll know who you are.
Okay.
And I'll be pushing that out on Friday's webinar. So as I introduce Larry and talk about Larry a little bit, I'll push that off before. So you'll get that announcement what your day is on Friday. So I've already finished that count. That schedule's done. So I'm not going to announce it until Friday when you come in. So what thoughts may you have or questions?
Nothing. Everything sounds good to me.
Cool, man. I appreciate your feedback, man. That's awesome. Thank you, Austin. All right, now, last thing I have here, and this is part of grouping. This is an assignment that's due Friday. What? I already have, no, you only have to do 2 hours of work of that a day, okay? And some of you right now, there's probably 1 or 2 of you who are live. Your courses aren't done yet, so here you go. This is an assignment from one of your PAC groups for next week. She stated to me, says, I want you to ask your students today, this is what I need from them by Friday. Cool. So it's called 5 things. Are you ready? I want you to click on you. Go ahead. Where it says you, click on you.
Okay. Hold on 1 sec.
Okay? It's right here where it says, there's Mr. Quinlan, don't click on me yet. Click on you. Okay? So if you click on you, it'll come to this document that says copy. Right? Just click on make a copy. Basically, you get your very own copy. Ooh. Ah, okay. So what is this? All right, this group leader, Carrie, said, I want your students. She's helping with the group. She's awesome. She's dynamic, and she's got a great sense of humor. 5 things that I need to improve on. So she wants the 5 things done for you on Friday. You don't have to get into great description because I'm going to show you mine. Think about your home life, your home, your dwelling, your shelter. Okay? You with me? Think about your personal life. Think about school, education. Sometimes I hate that word, school, because it's about learning. Think about a relationship, maybe a relationship or all your relationships. Or think about something other that I may not have mentioned. Here's what I want you to do. In the first square, type in something you may need to improve about at home. My spelling's horrific. All right? Now, what I want to show you, here's a sample that I did, and you're welcome. I'll share this with you if you want it. I'll be more, matter of fact, I'll put it out there. This is mine. This is my own personal one. This is real. I took on her challenge, and I did this last night. So if I'm challenging you, I better have done the same thing. We're going to do something with this in our webinar or when we meet in our groups or when we meet individually. I'm going to ask you to bring this or pull it up on your Google Doc. So my home is, I want a year, 1 priority list of improvements in my entire house. I got water leaking in the basement. I got to tear out an entire room in my basement. It got me thinking, I need to have a better plan about some of the home improvements I want to make. But think about your dwelling, okay? Then below it, and I'm going to put that in, what is your action plan? You don't even have to, don't go as detailed as I did. I was going overboard. I was like, because I was really seriously doing this. This meant a lot to me. So I want to take inventory. I want to print out a calendar. I want to have a budgetary assessment, and I want to act. So no big deal. So think personal life. I want to be more consistent in my routine. I get up at 4:30 every morning. I go to bed early, guys. And I want to do something body, mind, soul. Every morning I get up, think of my body, my mind, and my soul. What am I doing to feed it? Because I know I'm no good to the people around me if I don't take care of my body, my mind, my soul. And I got a plan. You can read it on your own. I'm keeping a journal, and I'm going to be acting on that too. My school, work, education. Yes, I am a teacher, coach, but I'm also a learner. So I want to start reading more. So I started last night. 1 hour until I fall asleep, I'm going to read. That's my time to I'm going to feed my mind at nighttime of something positive. And that mind, that's what books do for me. Not social media, I hate this word. I won't use the word. It stinks. So use that and fill that crap full of your mind. And I think about that garbage that you're responding to and you put it in your brain and then you try to fall asleep. Are you kidding me? Because then I don't dictate my day. The day controls me or the night controls me. I wake up all your brain. Just to understand how the brain works, do yourself a favor. No. I'm trying to work it, and you can see my plan there. All right, relationships, they're huge with me. Mine are creating touch points with those who are important to me. My daughters, I call, text them every day. Yep. I love my daughters. I have 3 of them. I love my family, and I got to do a better job. Sometimes I don't touch base, and 2 or 3 days go by. I mean, they're 30s and 20s. They still need their parent. They still need their father.
I do the same with my grandma.
What's that, buddy?
I do the same with my grandma.
Are you kidding? Do you really?
Yeah, I just recently went and visited her, like the last week of summer break. I took 4 days off for work, went down there, visited her, made her tacos.
Austin, tell the rest of us what compels you to do that. Is it just hey, I want to do this?
Just because, I mean, like, my grandma is very special to me. Like, she's before my mom.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that in a mean way, but
No.
my grandma has always had my back, and she's just a wonderful person. And nobody doesn't show as much love as I do, and it kind of hurts. But like, she's lonely, and she just sits in the house all day. So, you know, I get where she wants to talk to someone. You know.
Austin, I don't have any sons. I have all daughters, but if I had a son, I sure hope he'd have a heart like yours.
Because like well, she's pretty old, so one day anything could happen. And I try to make as much time as I have. I try to make it worth it for her.
Do you mind if I share this with the world, what you just said?
Go ahead.
All right. That was my verbal commitment or approval from you. I think what you said speaks. You know what? I think what you just said, and I know everybody who's with us live here right now, everybody in this room right now, virtual room, feels the same way you did. You just articulated it very clearly. Because those people in our lives are very precious, and relationships do matter, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, and to have a grandson who says, hey, she's not going to be around here forever. I'm going to get out and do that. Man, what a gift you are. What a gift it is to have you share that today. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
There's your challenge, folks. You know, Austin, it's funny. You get me thinking, because my dad's 83, my mom's 82, and they're divorced since I was like in 7th grade. They live in different parts of the state of Michigan. It's like, dang, I got to get down and see my dad. You're right. Grand Rapids is not that far.
Yeah, well, that's where my grandma lives, is Grand Rapids.
Really?
Yeah.
Grand Rapids.
On the west side. She lives in it's like I don't know if it's really an old folks home,
Yeah.
but it's like a place for people to live.
Oh, that's awesome, buddy. What a special gift you are. And thanks for sharing your gift with us today. I mean that. That inspires me. That makes me want to go forth the rest of my day like, dang, very reflective. Austin, that was a blessing. Thank you very much. Cool. Hey, and finally, any other things that are going on in your life that I'm telling you right now, you're giving yourself a gift. You do this. You're giving yourself a gift by reflecting on this moment and sharing what Austin just shared with us. I mean, I have a young lady. She's 27 years old. She's a teacher, third-year teacher, works in Belding. We've connected a couple of years ago at an organization. Her and I want to do a podcast together. Her being just starting her career, and I'm at the tail end. Yeah, Austin, I'm getting old, okay? But anyway, the two of us have quite a perspective on education, and we have already planned out a podcast. I even got the equipment. So that's my finalizing that. And so there's my action plan for that and some things I want to do in my own social media. So, folks, your challenge. And really, like I said, and you heard Austin, it's like you're giving yourself a gift. Give yourself a gift of reflection. I'm really going to ask you when you do come in your face-to-face to bring that, because that's going to be expected of you when you come in, whether you're on Tuesday's group with my junior seniors or another Monday or Wednesday group. I'll let you know soon. Do this and be prepared to share. So, Austin, you shared tremendously. Maybe just put your thoughts, what you just shared would be awesome. Okay? Hey, Ken, Austin, Alyssa, Kiara, David. Who else we got? Jalea, Skyla. Did I miss anybody?
Honestly, I only see Kiara and Skyla. That's probably because there's more people in here.
Well, we got a full house today. It's great seeing all of you. And I got my attendance down. Actually, I set up for my attendance, and I also record this, so I go back and do the attendance too. So it was great seeing everybody today. I hope you remember our 9/11 tribute and just think of those who over 5,000 lives and families. 5,000 families right now are mourning the loss of a dad, a brother, a sister, a mom who never came home that day. And like Austin said today, I think that reflection about 5 things, start thinking about the people most important to you. Think of those 5 things today that you want to get better at, because there isn't a single person on earth that does not need to improve. Because if you're standing still, like an old friend of mine said, if you're standing still, you're loafing. And none of you are slackers, none of you are loafers. You have to constantly be thinking and moving forward to be successful. So thank you, Austin, for sharing your personal story. Thank you for all of you being here. Anybody else have any insight or final words, final thoughts?
No.
You know what? Have a great day, everybody. Stay connected. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.